Should I contact the grantor before I submit the grant application? I'm Benjamin Dean from grantgetting.com. The answer to this question is yes. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons that you should contact the grantor before you submit a grant application. Now, these are things that you can consider as other touch points on your application. There is no requirement in almost all grant applications that you make a contact, although some require a webinar. This video is going to give you 3 ways or 3 reasons to communicate that you can start to think about. There is a link in the description for 10 reasons or 10 things for you to consider as reasons to reach out to a funder before you submit a grant application. Benjamin from Benjamin Dean and grantgetting.com. Thank you so much for jumping in. This video and others like it on this channel are aimed at helping you get more grants. Let's jump in. Number 1 reason to reach out to a funder before you submit an application is to build a relationship or strengthen a relationship. One of the main reasons is to just start that process. Establishing a connection early can help you stand out from many other applications. By reaching out, you're showing initiative. You're showing potentially professionalism and a genuine interest in the funder's mission. You're not just another applicant. You're somebody who cares about aligning your project with their goals. You're going the extra step to ask important and relevant questions. This relationship can lead to ongoing communication. It strengthens your proposal and increases your chances of success. If you have a relationship already established with a funder or an individual within a funding institution, and the application opens at some point in the future and you have a clarifying question, you are much more likely to get a response, let's say it's over email, if you are replying back on the same email thread where you have a previous positive conversation already going. Hey Steve, just following up here again, saw that the application opened. Just one quick question. Thanks so much. Talk to you soon. Okay. If you don't have that relationship, then, hi, my name is X. Here is my organization. We are applying for this grant and we have some questions, right? So it's an introduction and a question. It's way less likely that you're going to be prioritized versus if it's just another part of an ongoing conversation that you have going on. Again, that can be achieved over phone call, that can be achieved on direct message conversation on any number of social platforms, and of course, email. Okay, so the relationship is number 1. Number 2 is early on to clarify the funder's expectations. Sometimes grant guidelines aren't as clear as we'd like them to be. That's where contacting the grantor comes into play. That is one of the many reasons that grantors have somebody to contact is for clarifications. A short conversation over the phone, over a direct message, or over email can help you clarify any uncertainties and better understand what the funder's actual priorities are. By doing this, you can ensure that your application addresses exactly what they are looking for, making your proposal stronger and, again, more likely to exceed. You might ask something like, could you provide a little bit more insight into what outcomes you are looking to prioritize? I see that your priorities are here. I see some of the previous projects that you funded here. I can sort of assume and intuit what those outcomes might be. I know we're in this space, but we've got actually a couple different ways to look at our programs. We have multiple different outcomes that are achieved, and I'm just curious how these potential outcomes fit with your priorities, right? I am committed to understanding what you care about because what you care about is what I care about. Okay? Clarifying the guidelines, clarifying expectations, very important. Now, one of the other things that you should look at with any grant is what are the reporting requirements. Now, most of the time, if you are an established organization and your outcomes are not new, your outputs are not new, this is something that you're doing, there may be an intervention or two in terms of tracking that would be new for reporting, but sometimes it's very onerous. I have been a part of organizations that have received grant funding that had A lot of requirements. Those requirements involved attending trainings across the country. It involved attending learning sessions, best practice sessions. It included actually getting certified in one grantor case with a particular organization. That was a 4-week certification course, multiple hours every week for 4 weeks. It was a lot. So had we not prepared for that, that could have been an issue. More likely than not, you're talking about what data needs to be collected along the way, and specifically potentially before the project starts so that you have a baseline. So anytime you have program evaluation questions relative to reporting with a grantor, those are those are important to ask because you should understand them, but they're also important to communicate to the funder that you're not just thinking about a money grab. You're thinking about, how do I demonstrate my impact in the community to you so that you can demonstrate that your funding is working to your donors. Remember, every foundation has someone or someones that they are reporting out to. Okay. And so they have things that they want accomplished or that they hope to be accomplished with the funding that they are providing. Always be thinking about that. And if you can generate a couple of questions in that stream, that's really going to help you stand out. Okay. That's number 2. Number 3, then why communicate with a grantor before submitting your application? It gives you the opportunity to set the tone for your voice. Most of the time, that voice should somehow include professionalism and effectiveness. Okay, now you can have your own personality and your own style of doing things, and that's very, very important. And in many ways, that can also help you stand out as an individual who's reaching out on behalf. But strongly encourage you to consider, how do I show this organization that I am professional, which, really means reliable and effective, right? That we're going to do what we say we're going to do. When you do contact a grantor, how you communicate matters, and it is the beginning of the application process. It is essential to be respectful, overly respectful in some cases, concise and professional. Keyword is concise. Start by introducing yourself. If this is a cold outreach, explain why you're reaching out and ask any specific, very specific questions that can guide your proposal or potentially be something that they then can say, hey, this is a great question. I think others would appreciate this. I'm going to add this to my FAQ page, right? When you're adding so much value that they're just going to institutionalize it, that's really positive. This kind of communication leaves a positive impression and signals that you are not just looking for funding, you're looking to build a meaningful partnership. You're seeking to understand where someone else is coming from. Okay, so these are the 3 strategies. You're doing this, or the 3 reasons we could say. You're to build a relationship, to clarify funding expectations, and to demonstrate your professionalism and your effectiveness through your communication. This will help you determine when and how to contact a grantor in a way that strengthens your application. There is a link in the description with 10 additional reasons. That is a great free download for you to just get thinking. I know I should reach out to a funder, but I can't think of a reason right now. Take this download, look at those 10 things, compare it to the RFA or the RFP and the FAQs and all the acronyms. Look at all of the information you have about the funder and the application and see if there's anything that you don't understand that you could look for some clarity on. So thank you so much for jumping in. If you have any questions about reaching out or relationship building with grantors, please take a jump down to the comments and put it in there, and I'd love to communicate there. Thank you so much for jumping in, and we will see you in the next video.